Hey guys, hope you're all well. Right, on with the Enfield engine. So it's stupidly early in the morning. There's a lot going on today, so before all normal people wake up, I'm going to get stuck in with this Enfield to get a bit done to it. I don't know how far I'll get with it in this video, but we will be making a start, which is the main thing. Everything else is all sorted with the getting powder coated. Still quite a lot to organise. I still don't know how far I'm going to take this engine. I'm actually, one of my jobs today, I'm going to sit down and see how well the sticker sales are gone, to see how far I'm going to push the rest of this build. It'd be nice, it would be nice to completely strip it. Like I say, I've done one with a black engine and it came out fantastic. I really liked it, but I sort of coated that myself. That's not always the best thing to do, I know that, but it would be nice to completely strip this engine. It's down here waiting, looking extremely filthy, but it would be nice to completely strip this, prepare all the casings and get them coated properly. And also, while we're in there, new piston, new rings, new bearings and everything else to make that engine absolutely like brand new. So yeah, I'm gonna have a tot up and see how far we can keep pushing this build, because I would love to do it so it's as perfect as I can get it, and that's literally change more or less everything for brand new. And then whoever ends up with it has got, well, yeah, they'll have themselves a good bike, I hope. Anyway, one question first. I've seen there's been a lot of response on the Honda. Thank you all so much for that, because that has been quite a journey. I've been absolutely worn out, to be honest with you. My own stuff, I try and do it sort of out of hours in the evening or weekends, and some of the jobs on that Honda have took me very, very late into the night and early starts to try and not let it sort of interfere with other jobs that are going on in here. So yeah, I've been quite tired over the past few days. I think it's just all caught up with me, and I've done that big sigh of relief and realised how shattered I am. Some of the questions were, I think, what was actually wrong with it? I wished I could actually answer that precisely, but I do not know. It was very strange, because there's a lot, as some of you are aware, there's a lot of things on bikes that can go wrong that will throw up very similar symptoms, and sometimes it's very, very hard to pick out what is actually wrong, and the only way to do it is start from the beginning and go through everything till you hit that thing that corrects the problem. So I don't entirely know. We know the capacitor was absolutely fried. We know that was done. So that was one of the big parts that was causing the problem. That was actually the part that made the bike completely stop. I'm sure of it. Couldn't start it at all. I'm sure the capacitor was causing that main problem. And as I went along, it seemed as we put new parts on, the problems slightly changed. It was very, very odd. And then the last thing we changed on it, which seemed to correct the bike 100%, was the map sensor. We've done the throttle position sensor and we've done the temp sensor. Them three things, out of them three things, corrected the bike 100%. But anyway, hopefully now it's going to be quite reliable for a while, like a Honda should apparently. Apparently they're good and they're reliable. My experiences so far have not been very good, but that can be the same with any make and model and year of bike. You can get a good one, and like this, we got a bad one. So yeah, I'm not 100% sure what was totally wrong with it. It could have been a combination of all the things. Like I say, every time we've done something on it, it seemed to change things slightly. It's like the bike did have a tick over. It did idle quite well, and then that just disappeared on us. And as you know, we got it all right in the end. Anyway, enough Honda. There is going to be another test ride before we go and do an 80-mile green lane. So I will put that on the other channel because I'm going to have a little practice with the drone as well. I've got that drone to do all this fancy filming while I'm out and about, and just haven't had a chance to have much time with it really. So I'm going to get that out when we go out for a practice run and see what sort of footage we can get. Anyway, I've got to get that engine over here and onto this bench, and it's ridiculously early, and I've got to put the compressor on and pump that bench up. That's the only downfall of that bench. Although, in fact, no, I've got a pedal for it. We'll have to do it in the keep fit fashion with the pedal. Anyway, whew, it's very early for lifting that, but we're going to do it. Right, this should wake me up properly. Oh. Yeah, that's heavy. Prepare myself. No. Easy. Give us a bit of space there to start laying a few parts out. It is filthy. Let's have a closer look. Yeah, it's not very good, is it? Thick oily grease all down here. That'll be just residue off the chain, and it's just coated in grease and oil and obviously dust and everything else. So we'll start getting individual parts off, giving everything a wipe over, and then we've got the task of sorting all the castings out. So that's going to be a lengthy process, so we'll just break this up into a few videos as we go along. Hopefully it's not too bad. Looking at it as it sits there, I've definitely seen worse, so hopefully it's not going to take a massive amount of time. I'll say that it will take quite a bit of time, but we want it right at the end of the day, so let's start stripping it out. Got the keep fit pedal. Where does this go? Which way does this go round? Is it that way? Yeah, that's it. And we're up. Let's put the safety bar in. Up to working height, we can start sorting out what we're going to do first. I think one of the first jobs needs to be this bracket here, this engine mounting bracket. As with all of these Enfields, and I don't know what it is, look at this, because they're in two halves, always on them. There's one that doesn't seem to be folded properly. So what we've got to do first is clamp this up so we've got it straight, get some heat into these bends to relax it, and get it tacked up while it's on the engine, take it all off, then weld it up, because that item's got to get up the powder coaters with all the other stuff, and also the shoe on the back of the engine around there that all the footrest bars connected to. We've got to get that off and up the powder coaters as well. So let's try and level this thing up first. Right, one clamp, one chunky bit of material. I think if we put that across the front there and get that clamped up, there we go. And when that's straight, it creates a massive gap, and we're gonna have to live with that. Obviously, we will weld it all up so you won't see it, because I do want this as one piece. So let's see if we can just get a little bit of heat in this bend and relax it a little bit. Right, we're getting a bit in there. What I think I'm actually going to do is drop that clamp back off, and I'll get a bit more heat in it. Look how much that is out. A fair amount of heat in that. I'm actually going to put this down nearer the middle. Ooh, let's drag this engine to the edge a minute. Get a bit more adjustment on my clamp then. There we go. That's got it. Right. Okay, we'll get this welded up in a second. Just going to show you the gap. Now we've got it clamped up. Oh yeah, there's a hell of a gap there. Now it's actually straight and sitting as how it should be, in my opinion. So what I'll do to start with, we'll get some tacks on this top end. I'll move the clamp down and then get some tacks on the bottom end, and then we'll take it all off. Later on, when it's more of a sensible time, I can make some noise, I'll get it all welded up and ground up and nice and flush. Okay, let's give this a go. It's probably not going to be the best tacks because the material's quite mucky. But all I'm interested in doing is joining it together at the minute. Then we'll attack it properly when it's off the engine. And that's a big old gap to be filling, but we'll do it. Top bit done. That's warm. Let's get a colder one. Just have to hang this over a little bit more. Oh, I think that's enough to hold it in place. So I can clean it all up properly now so we get a decent weld on it. Let's get this thing off now. We've got to allow for the powder coating thicknesses as well. So we don't want to be scraping them off when it's powder coated, trying to bang it on because it's too tight. quite tight on there. I really see the gap now. How can they get something so wrong? Anyway, I need to relax that a bit, so it, like I say, so it just slides on. You can probably see how much that's sprung now. It's probably the thickness of the material that I need to spread it out by. Yeah, we'll sort that out. Right, first, we'll try simply crushing the bend, which may open it out a little bit. Arrgh. Is that getting it? Might be. Let's do a little bit on the other side. Let's have a look at that. Ugh. I think that might have done it. There we go. It's a little bit too much, but I think when I've got all the heat through it doing this, it's actually naturally going to want to try and pull in again. So I'm going to leave it like that. I say at the minute it's too much, but I think with the heat through this, we're a chance that it's going to pull it back in. But if not, we'll just squeeze it back in. It's not a problem. I just want that tiny bit of a gap. So that's on there. I'd actually prefer when we put the bolts through, it actually squeezes it in to clamp it up, not have to like sort of bash it on because it's too tight. Anyway, when we got to a more sensible time, we'll sort that bit out. Alright, let's start by getting this terrible looking oil feed pipe off. Obviously we'll be making our own, like I've done on others, with all new fixings. We'll do a nice brass and copper one. There we go. Yeah. Terrible looking things. We'll get all that replaced. Let's get that decompressor out. Again, this will be replaced with new. Come on, nearly there. There we go. Yeah, we'll have all new in there. Won't put that old one back in. Spark plug. Right. Let's start getting the lid off. Looks like the stud's coming out with that one. Well, it might not be. No.